First things first, if you are my siblings or my partner, you are banned from watching this video until after you have received your gifts. Exit the video now. I'm serious, go exit. You can come back and watch it later. Okay, now that they're gone, hi friends. This is so fun. Now it feels like we all have a little secret together. And the secret is, we are DIYing some Christmas gifts. Also, we're at my parents' house right now. That part's not a secret. I'm just explaining where I am. Anyway, we've got home decor and clothes, painting and embroidery, quick small scale makes, and one quite grand intensive project. And they're all really cute and cool. So let's kick it back to Liz from a few days ago to get us started. So as of the day I'm filming this, Christmas is in 1 week and I don't have a single gift ready yet, but I have a lot of DIY supplies. I have a lot of items on my shopping list and I have some DIYs that I have begun, but not yet finished. So today, we're just gonna spend the afternoon making some lovely gifts for all my loved ones. The first thing I'm making is actually a home decor item. My older sister asked me for a painted planter pot. So I got this little terracotta one at Michael's. I looked up some inspo on Pinterest, of course, and now we're just gonna have fun. My first step was just to paint the whole planter white as a base, which I did in 2 or 3 coats while I tried to decide what exactly I wanted to do with this planter. I had so many different reference photos and ideas, but this photo in particular really caught my eye because I love these 2 patterns together. Now, these are of course 2 different planters, but then it occurred to me I could do a half and half dual pattern planter. So I just taped off the edges halfway around to get a nice crisp edge and started painting one side. While I did the first half in sage green with a white grid pattern on top, I pondered what to put on the other side because did I precisely plan it out before starting? Of course not. That's not the Beep World way. I continued looking at my inspo pictures and this one really stuck out to me as something my sister might like, so I decided to do the second half with these leafy plant motifs but as a pattern instead of a landscape. All of the reference images I show in this video will be linked in a Pinterest board in the description, by the way. This dual pattern design might be a little much all on one planter, but I don't know, I think it looks cool and unique. I've never seen a planter like this before, and this way she can also display just one side or the other for 2 different simpler looks, or display it with both sides showing for an extra funky look. Oh, I also painted the tray half and half too to match the pot, which I think is a very fun detail, and I painted the inside yellow for an extra pop because 2 patterns wasn't enough, apparently. The next day, I sprayed the whole thing with shellac to seal and finish it, and now it's looking pretty iconic. I must say, I am very excited to show you the final reveal at the end. Listen, that last one was kind of a trust the process DIY, but I promise you it looks really cool. I'll finish with an actual plant in it. Okay, you'll see. Anyway, this video is not sponsored, so I am here instead to take a second to remind you that I have an Etsy shop full of my very cute artworks and illustrations, if I do say so myself, as super affordable, high-res, instant digital downloads. If you need a super last-minute Christmas gift, could be a great idea. I'm just saying, you get the download instantly, and Walgreens and CVS have same-day poster printing. Obviously, I also think these are great as decor for any occasion or any time of year. So, my shop is linked below. It would mean so much to me if you checked it out. Alright, on to the next project. It is day 2 of holiday crafting festivities with Liz, and today we are embroidering this sweater. I just tried this on to see where exactly the placement should be, so I'm gonna do that, and then let's get started. So this sweater is for my younger sister. It is thrifted, and as you can see, the chalk was not working to mark where I wanted the embroidery, and I couldn't find any safety pins. So I just attached some earrings to the edges of the area I wanted the embroidery to go. The resourcefulness, we love to see it. Also, because this is knitted and kind of stretchy and slidey, I used an embroidery hoop and some more tightly woven non-stretch fabric behind the area to stabilize it. Now, I should probably tell you what I am actually embroidering here. I'm doing a little monogram of my sister's initials. I love an embroidered monogram. I think they always look so cool and so classic. I love when something is timeless but still interesting and personal in some way, and literally what is more personal than your own initials? My younger sister also definitely has a very classic style. I feel like this would be so her thing. Really the only shortcoming is that because I'm doing it by hand, it's just going to look a little more crafty and DIY than like the kind done by a machine. I still think it looks so cute like this, but my sister's style is definitely a bit more polished, so I hope it still gets use in her wardrobe and works with her style. Okay, I actually have a question for all the DIY gifters out there. Do you also get insecure that your DIYs are just like a worse version of a store-bought item? I mean, I don't always DIY all my gifts. This year, I also have some store-bought gifts for these family members, but I always just think it's extra special and cool to make something unique and custom for someone, but I'm always worried my version isn't good enough and my skills just aren't as strong as a professional, and then it just ends up being junk that people are stuck with. I don't know, sound off in the comments if you as a maker have the same insecurity, or if you as a gift receiver would like to weigh in on this. I'm so curious to hear people's thoughts. Oh, also for your reference, I did sketch out my monogram first, and I looked at it for reference while I was embroidering. The real thing didn't turn out exactly like the sketch, but it was just very useful to have as a reference. Okay, our last project is actually the most intensive, grandest one, and it is actually the first one I started, but also the last one I finished. This was quite the undertaking. So let's throw it back to even further past Liz in my apartment. Sorry, this video involves a lot of time traveling, but I know you can keep up. Hi friends! Today I am doing an embroidery project. The best way to spend a gloomy, cloudy afternoon. Here's what I'm embroidering. It is a navy blue bomber jacket. It's made of a nice like canvasy material. I found this at the thrift store and I thought it would make a really cool DIY project to embroider some sort of cool, colorful, ornate little design on. I'm super excited. Let's just get started. I'm like, should I sketch my thing on in chalk first? Probably, right? I shouldn't just freehand it. Let's get some chalk. So when I first conceived of this DIY project, I honestly had a very lofty vision that was far above my skill level. I love this style of super ornate, detailed, embellished embroidery, and I was saving all this inspo on Pinterest, but then I realized I do not have the time, materials, or skill to accomplish something like this at this time. And that's okay. These definitely still served as inspiration, but then I tried to pivot to save some inspo that I still loved, still gave that detailed artistic look, but was a little simpler and more my speed. Having both aspirational images and realistic images really got my creativity flowing, but also gave me an idea of how I could translate that creative vision to an actual realistic plan. So with all that inspo collected, this is the sketch of the design that I started on. All right, y'all, I've been embroidering for like 2.5 hours, and this is what I got done. It's not very much because I did the stem at first and then I realized it was off center and I had to take the whole thing out and start over. But now it's looking lovely. We just have one stem, but I think I have some time to get started on this flower. Let's see what I can do. I realized I didn't actually mention this yet, but this jacket is a Christmas gift for my boyfriend who I live with, which is part of why it took so many days for me to do, because I kept having to work on it when he wasn't home, which was kind of a fun little secret activity. It gave me a mischievous and festive atmosphere to my day, but also I kept wishing I could tell him about what I was working on all day. It's the next day. This is how much we accomplished yesterday. Not bad. It's definitely starting to take shape and I am really excited about where this is going. Today I have a little more time to continue. So let's continue adding flower petals and then maybe we'll start on the 2 little side flowers. So, as you can see, I was mostly following my sketch here, which I continue to do on both the front and back, but I will reveal to you now that I did actually end up adding in quite a few more little added details and finishing touches beyond what was in the original sketch. As I was working, I just felt like when I had completed the planned portions, the design still didn't feel complete. You know, they needed something more, and so I let myself go off script and just add what felt right. Like I said earlier, I definitely don't always plan things out perfectly before I start a project, but part of the reason for that is that often they don't turn out quite how I originally planned anyway. But I think going in with that knowledge in mind and the willingness to adjust and change course makes my DIY projects way more successful and gives me way more room to experiment, have fun, and adjust if things don't necessarily go according to plan. All right, y'all. It's day 3 of this project, and by day 3, I mean night 3 because I keep doing this after 4 p.m. and the sun sets at approximately noon. I was about to talk about how I'm in kind of a sad mood today, and now I'm like, oh, that's probably a factor, isn't it? But I thought that mood could be mitigated by some more cozy crafting. So here is the jacket update. I just finished up these back details last night, and I think the back is finished unless I end up wanting to add more. And so now we're gonna get started on the front and just have a lovely little time embroidering, probably watching YouTube videos, because that's always what I do in the background while I craft. And I imagine that's what some of you are doing right now as well, which delights me. Let's craft. Now, at this time, the astute among you may be saying, wasn't there an orange machine embroidery embroidered logo on the front of this jacket? To which I would say, wow, I'm impressed you remembered that. But yes, there was, and thank you for asking, because even though I didn't document it in this video because it was boring, one of the hardest and most time-consuming parts of this project was getting that embroidery out. I literally just had to hand pick every single stitch of thread until it was gone. And I tell you, this was some solid machine embroidery. There were so many layers, the stitching was so tight, there was little orange fluff everywhere. It was a mess. It took hours. But I will say, shockingly, I came out triumphant and I got it all out without damaging the fabric underneath. The canvas was still totally strong and sturdy under there, even having been stabbed through with thread 100,000 times. That is amazing to me, and that is how I know this is a quality jacket, so I am very glad to be giving it as a gift. Okay, it's been a couple hours. The front is virtually finished with what I drafted. I'm quite pleased with it. I think it looks great. The only thing is, I don't think it's enough. It feels cool, but like, this is not the end. It needs more. So I'm gonna put this away for the night and think on it, and maybe then add some more little motifs and finishing touches. All right, y'all. Present me is back. You know what that means, baby. All the DIY gifts are finished. And I gotta say, the final touches really made that jacket. You have no idea what's coming at you. So with that, let's get into the grand reveals. First up, we have the one-of-a-kind hand-painted dual pattern planter. That was a long and maybe overhyped title, but I truly love how this turned out. I kind of want to make a matching one for myself now. I feel like having these two patterns combined together is just so funky and eye-catching, but I also love that if you want a simpler look, you could also just show one side or the other. It's actually kind of like 3 different planters in one, so you can switch up the style that's displayed whenever you want. It's funky, it's artsy, it's versatile. What more could you want from a planter? Next, we have the monogrammed embroidered sweater, and I have to say, I am very proud of this embroidery job. Obviously, it still looks hand-done, but as someone who is sort of notoriously messy with DIYs and makes things up as I go, I am really proud of how neat and polished this looks. I think it is so classic and just adorable. Once again, I want to make another one of these for myself with my initials. And this was super quick. I did it all in one sitting, and it's totally custom to the person it's for, so it's a great, personal, thoughtful, but relatively quick and easy gift. And finally, the biggest multi-day project of the video, this magical embroidered bomber jacket. I am so freaking proud of this thing. Honestly, I gotta say, along the way, I was a little uncertain, a little unconfident in how this final version would turn out, because what I had sketched was just falling flat a little bit on the actual jacket. I think partially because the green thread I had just didn't show up as much against the navy jacket as the other colors. But as you can see, I pivoted, I powered through, and I just kept adding little touches and tweaks, and now I'm in love. None of them were any big changes or anything. I didn't have to redo any part of the original design. It was really just adding brightly colored moons, stars, and flames to fill in the existing designs and empty space a little more. But these touches just make it all look so full and colorful. It's not perfect, but I am very proud. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop, linked below. Please do let me know if you got any inspo from this, which project was your favorite, and please tell me about any DIY gifts you've made. I would absolutely love to hear about them in the comments. Oh, and if you do leave a comment, watch another video, like perhaps another one from my DIY/thrift flips playlist, and subscribe to my channel. I heard this winter you will get a magical little visit from an elf who will deliver you a hand-embroidered gift.